Nominations closed at noon yesterday for the upcoming general election. Patali's fate and SJB's indecency. How can the opposition obtain a favourable result? Why did Prasanna opt out? A hint at NPP's national list.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Nominations closed at noon yesterday for the upcoming general election. The Election Commission says 147 parties and 94 independent groups had handed in nominations by day before yesterday. This will go down in history as the election in which the highest number of former MPs do not seek re-election. 4 ex-presidents shun Parliament. Mahinda, Sirisena, Gota and Ranil, all former presidents, have decided against contesting. More than 60 return home. Around 60 from the last Parliament have announced that they would not contest this time. Among them are Mahinda Yapa, Dulles and Karuna, all from Matara. Weerawansa too says in a statement that his NFF will stay away from the election. So do the ex-ministers Prasanna, Bandula, Shehan and Wijayadasa. Former Sabaragamuwa Governor Navin announced likewise in a Facebook post. Chief Opposition Whip in the last Parliament Kiriella is not contesting and his daughter is given nominations. SLPP National Organiser Namal hopes to enter Parliament from the national list. His uncles Basil and Shamal too are not contesting. Many say their decision is an outcome of Aragalaya and prompted by the red signal shown to them at the recent presidential polls. A force deemed immaterial became a mainstream one following Gota's abject failure. Except for the MPP, all the other parties are clueless as to facing the challenge ahead. For Ranil, this could well be the first time he would not be in Parliament since 1977. That is not a certainty because he could come by way of a dummy in the national list. Wimal's strange liking for AKD. Weerawansa says in a statement that certain opposition forces working to the imperialist agenda want to see AKD becoming a second Gota. He says his NFF does not want to be part of that conspiracy to take the country further into crisis. Chinthana wants a few thieves in. The trend this time is a clean young parliament devoid of thieves. In a Facebook post, Chinthana Dharmadasa remarks that he prefers a parliament with a few thieves. If not, it will not be really representative of the people of this country, he says. Leave alone the elders in consideration of their age, but the younger ones who don't contest due to certain defeat should be ridiculed, says Philip Shantha. Patali's fate and SJB's indecency. Patali is known to be a brave hunter, but this time Sajith and Lucky made him the hunted one, some say. He announced on the 10th that his URF will not contest after the SJB violated the MOU they had signed. The story behind it goes as follows. Patali does his maximum in whatever he does and fully supported Sajith at the presidential race. He did so amid all the undercutting by some in the SJB. As the presidential election neared, the two parties signed a MOU. What did the MOU contain? Both sides observed the pact until the end of the election. The MOU says 11 URF candidates will be given nominations from as many districts. Additionally, a national list seat was reserved for the URF. After the election was called, Sajith summoned Patali and told him to come from the national list. I am contesting from Colombo, lead the campaign across the country, he told Patali in Madhuma Bandara's presence. Patali agreed to that. Accordingly, he attended a daily meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning, although he didn't have much of a role to play there. Madhuma Bandara and Lucky led the proceedings with Patali listening in. Later on, Madhuma Bandara told him that his quota will have to be reduced to 7. The URF was given nominations from Gampaha and Kalutara, with the latter only after a call by Ajith Pereira to give a Buddhist for Beruwala. Karu got it from Ratnapura because he is an ex-MP. There was no allocation from Patali's stronghold of Kandy. Colombo and Matale proved decisive. It was to be URF General Secretary Bandula Chandrasekhara for Colombo and Youth Wing Secretary Thikshana Gamampila for Patali. All of a sudden, Madhuma Bandara found no place for Gamampila. But Patali was not informed until the last moment. The same fate befell Chandrasekhara. Patali was told that was not possible because they needed a place for Sirinal Damel's son. Madhuma Bandara's tone indicated the national list position too is uncertain. Patali summons Politburo. Immediately, Patali summoned his Politburo for crisis talks. He gave a full explanation of what had happened. In the end, we were given only 2 nominations. We should have been given 5 at least. I don't want to be the only MP. Let's take a decision and withdraw, he suggested. That was approved unanimously. One member remarked that politics being like a cogwheel, Sajith may have thought of discarding us after use. But they will have to suffer the pain when that wheel starts turning, he said. How can the opposition obtain a favourable result? Kirthi Tenakun describes how the opposition can obtain a favourable result at the election. Claiming it to be a simple task, he says the first step should be Sajith giving the PM candidacy to Harsha, Kabir, Patali or even Boudica, while retaining the party and alliance leadership. Then, a majority with the UNP will switch their loyalty to the telephone camp. Sajith can have a pact if his jockey wins, that he should be the opposition leader. Harini cannot be defeated, but her victory can be made a very thin one. A change of heart by Sajith only can give at least a fighting chance for the main opposition to challenge the NPP, adds Tenakun. Harsha is alive and kicking amid all undercutting. Harsha too is facing elimination following Patali's ouster. With Sajith deciding to tour the country for the campaign, Harsha asked that he be made the Colombo district leader. If you are given it, others in the district too will ask for it. The other thing is I too am contesting from Colombo, was Sajith's reply. In the meantime, a very wealthy one has been included in the district, supposedly for the purpose of introducing new faces. Iran has been made to contest. Ironically, he was the head of the committee resolving nomination issues. He will have to fight it out with his leader Sajith and colleagues Marikar, Mujibur, Harsha and Hirunika for a maximum of 6 seats projected for the SJB from Colombo. Why did Prasanna opt out? Prasanna opted out of the race on the 9th night after talking to his family. Already he had signed Gampaha nominations as the district leader. On the next morning, he informed Ranil that he was not contesting. A shocked Ranil started telephoning Prasanna's close ones in an attempt to get his decision reversed. One told him that with the ruling of a court case against him due, his concerned family has asked him to stay put. Nevertheless, UNP's Ruan has changed his mind and signed nominations from Gampaha on the 10th. He will be the district leader of the new Democratic Front with gas cylinder symbol. Govindu quits in protest against Daham's entry. Govindu has decided to quit Dilith's Sarvajana Balaya after Sirisena's son Daham was accepted into the fold. Previously, Sarath Amanugama left the party chairmanship in protest against accepting Wirawansa and Gamampila. A hint at NPP's national list. The much-awaited national list of the NPP has a representative of the differently abled community. It is for the first time that such a thing has happened. Despite being totally blind, Sugath is considered a very abled character. What is important here is not a representation of the differently abled, but giving the talent their due place. Only the NPP is capable of doing so, says Chinthana. That's it for today.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම